Let me tell you about a guy almost nobody talks about. A man who quietly built a fortune, not through luck, not through risky bets, but through a tiny habit that looked so ordinary people ignored it. His name is Ronald Read. And the way he lived his life makes people stop and wonder if they've been thinking about money completely wrong. Ronald was the kind of person most folks walked past without noticing. He worked as a gas station attendant for years, later as a janitor. A regular guy, flannel shirts, old pickup, never showed off, never talked big. If you saw him, you'd never think, millionaire. You'd think, retired grandpa waiting for a bus. But that plain, quiet exterior was hiding one of the most surprising financial stories ever recorded. It started small, almost unbelievably small. Ronald had this habit. Every time he had $5 left at the end of the day, he didn't spend it. He saved it. No fancy apps, no budgeting systems, nothing complicated. Just a tiny, boring habit he repeated for years without stopping. People didn't get it. Why save $5? What difference could that possibly make? But Ronald wasn't thinking about, right now. He was thinking about the future version of himself. The version no one else believed he could become. Slowly, that little stack of saved fives turned into a small emergency fund. And once he had that, he started doing something that would change his entire life. He bought small amounts of stocks. Not meme stocks. Not hype. Just calm, boring, stable companies he believed would still exist 20 years later. Companies that sold products people bought every single day. He didn't check the stock market all the time. He didn't chase trends. He didn't panic. He just kept buying tiny pieces of companies, and he never sold. One habit. Repeated. Quietly. Meanwhile, people around him assumed he was just getting by. No one knew what this man was building in the background. No one knew the scale of what was happening behind those simple clothes and frugal habits. But something else was happening too, something more important than saving and investing. Ronald avoided the traps that drain most people's money. He didn't try to impress anyone. He didn't upgrade every time his friends did. He bought what he needed, and he didn't chase what he didn't. He was living way below the radar, and way below his means. And here's the twist that shocked everybody. When Ronald Read passed away in 2014, the town learned the secret he had kept for decades. This quiet gas station worker, this janitor who people assumed had nothing, had built an $8 million fortune. Yes, $8 million. People were stunned. Reporters flooded the story. How? Was he hiding something? Did he have a secret inheritance? No, nothing like that. His entire fortune came from two things: a tiny consistent saving habit and decades of simple, boring, patient investing. The kind of things anyone can do, but very few stick with. But the craziest part wasn't even the money. It was what he did with it. Ronald donated over $6 million to his local library and hospital. The same community where people overlooked him, he gave back to in a way that changed it forever. The man who blended into the background became the man whose name is etched into the town's history. His story isn't about getting rich fast. It's about how powerful it is to stay consistent when no one is clapping for you. How far tiny decisions can go when you give them time. How wealth can grow in silence, long before anyone ever sees the results. Ronald's life teaches something deep: you don't have to be brilliant. You don't need a high salary. You don't need big wins. You just need habits that quietly build momentum. Because the truth is, the real turning point in life rarely happens in the big moments. It happens in the small ones, the tiny choices repeated over and over when no one is watching. And that's why his story still spreads today. A janitor who quietly outsaved, outinvested, and outlived the expectations of everyone around him. A reminder that sometimes, the person who looks ordinary might be the one building something extraordinary.